Hey, what's good, beautiful people? Another basketball day to talk about the greatest player ever, the GOAT. Now, before we get started about these videos and clips we're going to be watching right now, I need you guys to smash that like button. Now, I've seen the worst officiating in this game since the Caitlin Clark spectacular spectacle has happened. Now, there's a foul that happened during the Connecticut Sun dismantling of the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark because they did get dismantled. Now, you're going to watch this, and I want you guys to tell me if it was a foul or not. And it's not even about if it's a foul or not. It's just the things that would go on after this right here. So this Caitlin Clark play is going to demonstrate how the league is going to start implementing these weird fouls on anybody playing lockup defense on the media darling and the Mayo Nation queen. You know the Mayo queen, Caitlin Clark. Now, you guys watch this. Watch this weak foul. Where did she touch her at? Look at this again, ladies and gentlemen. They don't even hide it no more, bro. This is getting weird and embarrassing. Look at this, y'all. Tell me the league is not rigged to a certain point. Look at this, bro. Not just only is it rigged, but it's rigged to prep up this media darling, overrated superstar. Look at this. Come down and collapse. Please open 3 opportunities. Whoa, where's the foul? And Carrington is mocking her. Carrington outplayed her, outperformed her. I don't blame that veteran. Now, this play you've seen here, the reaction by Carrington is typical for any NBA player of any ethnicity, right? Now, that was me making a video that I took down because I went deep into that video. I went full skydive into that video. But ladies and gentlemen, these videos that we're doing talking about the Caitlin Clark situation is all educational purpose, and I want to educate people when it comes to the matter of things and women who look like Caitlin Clark. A segment in our communities will protect them. Now, what's been going on has been people getting mad about her Olympic trials, and she didn't make the team and left off the team, and a lot of people got angry. There's a gentleman by the name of Matt Wallace, and he's infuriated, and he says these are the 5 women who kept Caitlin Clark off the team. I wonder why. So this would be basically, let's not be passive aggressive like most people who look like Caitlin Clark. Let's just say what he's trying to say. He's trying to say all these black beautiful females don't like white females, so they left her off. Again, baiting and being the typical fake basketball fans that they are. They're really race hustlers, because when you look at the beautiful women on the basketball team of all beautiful ethnicities, you see plentiful white females on the team. But he's not going to get into that. It doesn't fit their narrative. They have to make us monsters. They have to make us the bad guys to fit their narratives. And speaking of narrative, Caitlin Clark got dismantled during the Connecticut Suns games versus Indiana Fever. All you seen on articles was about Caitlin Clark's logo 3. She only scored 10 points and had like 3 or 4 turnovers within the first 2 quarters and a half. Then she had to take a seat and sit in the bench for the entire 4th quarter. Didn't even play. Multiple times she's been not playing multiple quarters. No one talks about it.
Shoot at 3 for Tiffany Mitchell.
Connecticut, second last in the league in three-point percentage, just under 29%. Clark heaves and rattles one in. Back and forth they go from deep.
So that's what we're paying for. To see some woman who doesn't play defense, she can't comprehend screens, she stays one positional situation, she doesn't run plays for her players also as the point guard, which is weird how everybody is scathing and excusing that part. But to get excited for a logo 3, even though she underwhelmingly played a horrible game. Most people who went to the game were all over Twitter and Reddit talking about it. It was horrible. But the media is scapegoating her away from that, and they're forcing her to be the face. Listen, if she's going to be the face, then what do you say about beautiful women like, you know, Dijonai Carrington? Look at her. Spectacular, bro. Like you can market all these other women as well. The problem is the media never wanted to market beautiful women who look like us, bro. They never did. This was not their agenda. They were waiting for a Caitlin Clark type player to market because the segment of the community don't like women who look like this beautiful Carrington over here. It's just facts. If your name is not Caitlin Clark, you're despised amongst people who look like her. The only difference is they only kind of hid their racial tendencies for a little bit. I mean, they were always open about what they thought about WNBA players. Like, look at the distasteful things they've been saying for the last 2 decades, almost 2 decades. Now, when you fast forward into here, you're looking at the foul situation. It's like, okay, we get it. The jig is in. They're going to force to protect her by any means necessary, even if people are just playing clean defense. It's now you're seeing U.S. senators are saying to arrest these women. I'm not even done now. We understood how this really started as far as protecting the Mayo women.
And this is where the Rosewood Massacre started, because this is where Fannie Till lived in Sumner and pretended she had been attacked by my uncle.
What's going on? Fannie, what happened?
Nigger. It was a nigger. He broke in my house and he beat me. It was a nigger, it was.
Like, that's the gist of what you get when you're looking at Caitlin Clark, because I used to somewhat respect her. I don't really follow her anymore because she placates into the Karen victim narrative. You understand me? This is a narrative that has been used for centuries to eliminate us, to hurt us, to ostracize us from the community as something vile and untouchable. And that's what you see in the media today. What's embarrassing is most of Caitlin Clark fans resemble of this right here.
That ain't the point. I tell you, boys, anybody's hiding Jesse Hunter, my money's on Sylvester Carey. That nigga, he hates us white folk.
He does. You know he's got a piano? A nigga with a goddamn piano. I've been working all my life. I ain't got a piano.
Exactly. The envy is like because listen, the trajectory of their whole mentality is that we're animals, we're not intelligent beings. You know, like this is what you tell predominantly poverty stricken, low intellect IQ level, such as Mayo people who look like Caitlin Clark. In other words, they call them trailer park, you know what, or whatever you want to call them. But even the ones who come from the South and Midwest, their whole lives they were told they were the smartest, they were the brightest, and they were capable of anything, and we're not capable of anything. I've seen a guy on Reddit the other day told me, you should thank that beautiful backyard you got because of Mayo people. And I was like, the audacity of this lower self creature to tell me. In fact, the fact that he's even speaking to me in the peasant form he comes in lets me know who these people really are. Now let's fast forward. There's more things that was going on in the midst of this. As you see, Shannon Sharp started caping for Caitlin Clark like no other. We've been revealing this already, and it proves the likes of Cynthia G, who YouTube had to take off because melanated brothers couldn't stand females having their own club discussing black men. I feel like I don't agree with everything Cynthia G says, but if you don't agree with it, let it fly. Why do you have to go worrying about it to get somebody removed off of YouTube? But Cynthia G said black men don't protect black women. Listen to this and see if it's a lie or not.
At some point in time, we've got to stop talking about we trying to grow the game. Because you got no, listen, is she as accomplished? Will she ever be as accomplished as a Stewie, as a Asia Wilson? And I believe those two, obviously they're slam dunk. They're the two best players in the WNBA, hands down, and it's not even close. But are we really trying to grow the game? Because this is the most popular women's basketball player in the world, and it ain't close. So are we really trying to grow the game? Is that what we're really trying to do? Or are we just talking about we're trying to grow the game and just bullshitting? At some point in time,
He basically just said, look, listen to you black women. You're good. You're some of the greatest, but we don't care. You ain't white and it ain't right. And that's what he basically just said in a nutshell. And he said it ain't even close. Now, this is the man who Jason Whitlock exposed. I don't even like Jason Whitlock, but he was correct. It seems these brothers who are married to male women, which I find nothing wrong with. I'm not here to judge, but they're always the loudest, trying to be this pro-militant, educational purpose black dude, but in hindsight they're really placating to this narrative and protecting the segment that they actually date. Because Shannon Sharpe, I'm not going to get into it, you go check out the women he actually dates, but I'm not going to get into that. But to say that is no wonder they didn't highlight when the beautiful Carrington was destroying and dismantling Caitlin Clark all night when the Indiana Fever played the Connecticut Sun.
At some point in time,
I apologize. Here we go. I mean, beautiful, but all you seen in the comment sections was Caitlin Clark fans saying this beautiful cup of tea. Oh, she doesn't have good sportsmanship. She's not, but I guess it's good sportsmanship if Caitlin Clark does it. It's passion and good sport. They talking about Caitlin Clark got class. She has everything, but it's like, huh? It just seems to me that they're tap dancing for the producers and not necessarily a Caitlin Clark situation. They're tap dancing for these producers because that's what they basically sold their soul on. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what you get when you don't exercise any integrity and you don't stand on what you actually believe in. Now, I'm going to keep going. Like, basically popular, like that's what Shannon Sharpe said. Not most talented, but popular. Like the world, like, come on, man. Like when it comes to the Olympic team, I feel her stands are complaining about how she's treated there. You know, like here in America, look how they're complaining already. Can you imagine how they would react if Caitlin Clark got so-called mistreated in these other countries? I mean, they're using any excuse to come out of their shells with their full throttle racism, but we're not going to speak on that. We're going to keep saying other things, but I'm not done yet. We're going to continue with this because it goes deeper down the rabbit hole. It's not just that Shannon Sharpe is the only one caping to this. It's more. Stephen A. Smith is going to continue with the disrespectful behavior and outlandish talks towards this right here.
Andrea, I strongly suggest you rethink such positions, especially when it comes to you, because marketing matters. It's how you get paid. If you don't know that, you better hear me and hear me good. I am telling you right now, you are going to be underpaid for the rest of what I believe will be an illustrious career, unless you get your mind right about that marketing. It matters. It matters. Janae, you know I'm right.
I hear you.
You know I'm right.
I hear you, Stephen A., but I will not sacrifice my basketball knowledge and my integrity in terms of the game for marketing. My marketing is doing just fine. And if it has to grow a little bit slower to hold on.
Team USA has. We've had ample evidence where they've done it in the past. Yes. Excuse me. I just finished
and maybe they're not trying to do it this year.
Stephen,
I understand that.
I don't want to hear Shannon Sharpe. That dude been chucking and jiving since the beginning. He got his Cat Williams fame, but let's continue with it. That woman was disrespected by Stephen A. Smith. What she said was correct. Who cares about this popularity thing that you guys keep highlighting? Because if that's the case, let's get rid of all the other players who made the Hall of Fame and only keep the ones you called so-called popular. But it seems this narrative of popularity and marketability is only being attached to the likes of a Caitlin Clark. We didn't hear this argument for anything else other than a Caitlin Clark. Let's get deeper. Stephen A. Smith, basically, let me tell you guys, he will never comprehend the dichotomy of ethics over marketability and money, because selling his soul for fame, status, and money was easy for him and Shannon Sharpe and Gilbert Arenas and all these other chucks. You feel me? All he has are opinions, a foul hairline, a loud mouth. In contrast, Andrea Carter offers actual basketball knowledge. She destroyed him right there. A pleasant disposition, real life experience, and screen appeal, because she's beautiful as well, but she proved it right there. She should get more of the attention and all that than a Stephen A. Smith if he's using this logic. Now let's fast forward, and I want to show you more of Caitlin Clark fans. You know what I mean? Because one of her fans actually was fired from her job. This woman right here, this woman you see right here, got fired from her job. This is the note. The reason why she got fired, she went on a tangent about how black people are nothing, we're just N-words and all that. This is the woman who is calling us racist for defending ourselves against Caitlin Clark racist fans. This woman went on a pivot. She even was liked by the likes of Shannon Sharp, Gilbert Arenas, and all these other people. They backed this woman. But guess what? The internet is clever. Shout out to her own people who exposed her. It wasn't us. Her own people exposed her, where she worked at. And I gotta salute the Mayo community, the good ones who still exist in this world. Not only that, she said this: "Thanks, black community, for helping to launch my new career in conservative media. You all played your role well, like the puppets you are." I'm not even mad she wrote this, ladies and gentlemen. This woman knows something that I've been knew. Most of Caitlin Clark fans and people who look like her never even cared about basketball. They couldn't wait for a reason to come out of their hiding to hate on you, because at the end of the day, most of Caitlin Clark fans think of this when it comes to racism.
Everyone was a slave. Everyone.
Well, not everyone was a slave.
No, everyone was a slave.
Okay.
We are all descended from slaves. It's just a question of when. Was it more recent or less recent? That's it.
That doesn't mean a lot to a whole lot of people who aren't able to take advantage of the opportunities that you were able to take advantage of, simply because the color of your skin.
What advantage does the color of my skin give me?
There's an ease that you have in society that many people of color don't. And there's a legacy of racism that still continues on in this country.
If we keep talking about it nonstop, it will never go away. If we keep making it the central thing, it will never go away.
Why do you believe that?
I think we want to get away from making everything a race or a gender or whatever issue and just treat people like individuals.
You heard that. This is the way they think of racism. They don't feel what you feel. Like the Terminator movie, they can't think, they can't feel that we're not the same people. Until you get that through your skull, you'll continue to suffer the delusion that these people put you through. They're oblivious to your plight. Only their plights matter. They tell you to get over them doing these foul things to you every day since civilization started. Lies, because civilization started with us, but according to their books, our civilization is only slavery. This is their mindset, ladies and gentlemen. They talk about their plights every day through movie, medias. They still talk about Pearl Harbor, 9/11. They talk about the American Revolution, but you're never allowed to talk about what they and their grandfathers and great-grandfathers have done to you, or the things they still do right now through their privilege. They'll flip it and call you using a race card, while meanwhile, it's them in every comment section on anything related to black, anything that has black, and what they're talking about, a negative connotation towards you and I. It's beautiful, but it's hatred, and it's coming as it come. Like Paul Mooney said, racism was here when I was born, and it's going to be here when I'm dead and gone. You can't get over that, but their mindset only thinks one way towards it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gone and I'm done. You let me know in the comment sections how you feel about all this, but the likes of a Stephen A. Smith and a Shannon Sharp, well, that's what you guys wanted. You wanted a Chuck tap dancing jiggeroo type of dude to say some black soul food words, and you guys fall in love with them and call them the next Dr. King and Malcolm. You can't make it up. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to continue standing on merits, honors, and codes of ethics, and even if it gets views or not. I'm DJ Bless One for a reason. I tell you to love your family and love your kids for a reason. Peace.
I've been broke so many times.